Alright, so today we're going to be making a simple white bread. You're going to need some bowls for mixing in. A larger, medium-sized bowl will do. 300 grams of flour, 200 grams of water, 6 grams of salt, 3 grams or 1 pack of active dry yeast, some extra flour in case your dough is a little too wet, some measuring cups, a scale, a pan, a dough scraper, parchment paper, and a bowl cover or plastic wrap. Alright, so we're going to start up by adding our flour into our mixing bowl. Once all that's in there, we're going to make a well. Just take your fingers in there and just a little well, so that way we can add our water. We're going to add about half of our water into that little well we made. And then we're going to add our yeast. And this is just to make sure that the yeast is still alive and active. Sometimes you get some dud packages in there. And we're just going to take that yeast and we're going to mix it into the water a little bit. So then after about 5 minutes, it should look like this. As we can see, it's foaming, so we know the yeast is alive. Now we can add the rest of our ingredients. Got our water, our salt, and we just start mixing. I like to use my hand. I think it's the best tool for the job. You could use a spoon, but that's one extra thing to clean. Your hands are really you're gonna get your hands dirty anyway. It's the best tool to use when you're mixing your dough and kneading it. So it should start to form into a shaggy ball like that. And once it gets to about that consistency, you're ready to pour it out onto the counter and start kneading. And you don't need to add any extra flour to your counter or anything. All the flour that's in there is all you're gonna need. Hopefully, if you need to add any extra, if you feel like the dough is too wet, you can take some of the extra flour we set aside there in that container and throw that in. Now I'm just rolling up my sleeves. I forgot to getting a little dirty. Roll those bad boys up and keep going. It should take you about 5-10, probably 10 minutes. 5 of active kneading if you do the waiting method like I did. About every few minutes I let the dough rest a little bit. So what I'm doing here is I'm dragging out with my palm and hooking back with my fingers to really stretch that gluten, keep building it up and up. It's a very effective way to help build that gluten into your dough. And here I sped the footage up just so you have to watch me knead dough for 5 minutes. You see it's still very sticky at this stage. You're gonna need that dough hook to help get it off. You can see my dough's a little too wet. It's not coming together quite as fast as it should be at this point. So I add a little extra flour and start kneading that in. The thing with dough is it's really something you have to kind of get to know and feel. That's why using your hands. You could use a stand mixer, but you don't have your hands to really feel what that dough is like. So using a stand mixer, you just throw all the ingredients in there and mix. With your hands, you really got to get in there and get physical with the dough, and it's a much more personal touch on making the bread. So here it's starting to get a lot more smooth and supple. So I know it's starting to get ready. So I'm going to let the dough rest again, and then we're going to keep kneading. So after this session of kneading, I let it rest for about 5 minutes. And that resting, what that does, it allows the gluten to relax and strengthen itself. And then when I come back and knead it again, it ends up making the kneading process a lot faster. And you can see when the dough will get a little stuck when it gets rested, but it just takes a little bit of work to get it going again. You can see how the texture is much smoother as I pull it out. And here I'm just slamming the dough on the table. That's another way to help build gluten a little faster. That impact, picking it up and throwing it down, it's another way to knead it. A little different technique. And using a mix of both of these allows the dough to form up pretty nice. Plus, it's pretty fun to just bang it against the counter. Little way to get rid of some stress if you got any. So now we're going to do what's called the window pane test. So what we're going to do is the dough should be able to support its own strength enough to where you can stretch it out real thin and see light through it. So here I know the dough is ready because I can see light through it and the dough doesn't rip when I do that. So now it's ready to do its first rest. So first I'm going to oil our bowl. Throw a little olive oil You could use canola too, just any oil. Put it back in our mixing bowl. And what you're going to want to do is form this into a ball. So you're going to stretch out one piece and bring it back on itself. And keep doing that over and over again until you get a really tight top of the dough. That's going to give it that tight structure it needs in order to rise properly. You want that dough to have some structure, and that's what the bowl does. And you put it seam side down. So the smooth side is on top. You're going to coat the bowl with, you use the ball of dough to coat the bowl with the oil. So that way it won't be as sticky when you take it out for your second rise to form it into the loaf. Put our bowl cover on. You could use plastic wrap here. It's just to make sure the dough doesn't dry out and form a skin on top. So what I do here is I'm taking it over to a little sunny place. The sun will give it a little bit of heat to help it rise a little faster. You could also use it off oven with a light on, or preheat your oven to a very low temperature and let it cool down a little bit. You just don't want to kill the yeast. And set it for 1 hour or until doubled in size. So here our dough is doubled in size. You can see. So I can get it out of our bowl here. Because of the oil, it's pretty easy to get out, but sometimes it does stick a little bit, so that's why you got the dough scraper there. So all we're going to do here is beat down the air, and we're going to form it into a ball. If you're doing a loaf, this is when you would turn the ball of dough into a loaf. But because we're going to do a more rustic style, just country loaf, we're keeping it into that ball shape. So you're going to do the same technique of folding over on itself, pulling out and fold on top, right into the middle, over and over again until you again get a really tight top. It usually takes me about 3 rounds to get it really tight. Again, you also want to make sure all the air is out because you're going to go for a second rise before you put it in the oven. And our dough's ready. So we're going to take our parchment paper. If you don't have parchment paper, you can use flour. I'm going to end up using both just because I like the flour on the bottom of the bread. So take your parchment paper out and put it on your pan. So I'm going to flour the parchment paper. There's an unnecessary step. I like the texture of the flour on the bottom of the loaf. But if you don't like that, go ahead and just do just the parchment paper. Take our loaf and we're just going to put it on our pan. Again, seam side down. Or I'm going to put a little flour on top too. This is just to make sure it doesn't stick to the towel that I'm going to use to cover it. Just cover with the towel. This is just to make sure again the dough doesn't dry out. It's going to be sitting around and doing another rest. And we're going to let it rise for another hour. Alright, so you see the dough is doubled in size here. And so what we're going to do is score it. And what scoring does is allows us to control the way the air escapes when the dough rapidly rises, do what's called the oven spring. So we're going to do it in a crosshatch pattern. And you're going to see the dough like bloom open after it's been baked. And so that's what it looks like. So we're going to put it in the oven. The oven's at 400 degrees Fahrenheit or 200 Celsius. This will take about 45 minutes to bake in there. Alright, so 45 minutes gone by, so it's time for us to take our bread out of the oven. And so what we're going to do here is we're going to check it with a thermometer, make sure the temperature is good. You're looking for at least basically as over 200 degrees Fahrenheit is what you're looking for. Make sure that all the moisture is out of the bread. And so we're good. We hit that target temperature. So after letting the bread cool down for about an hour, we can cut into it. And you're going to see we have a very closed texture. It's very nice, dense, great for sandwiches or just putting some butter or jelly on. Really good white bread there.